Choosing the right place to live when you come here could make or break you. If you get it right, everything will fall into place. But if you get it wrong, you're going to be out of money, you'll be stressed, and you will start questioning every single thing, every decision you make, you're going to start questioning it. I've watched people come here, they come here all excited to move to Jamaica. And just because of where they choose to live, I've seen them totally fall apart, pack up, and go back home. And I don't want that for you, okay? Alright, you see, if it's the first time, if you're moving to Jamaica for the first time, I would suggest that you rent first. Always. No matter how certain you are that you want to live here, don't buy nothing and come here. Rent first. Spend some time here. That is the decision. That is the advice I always give to everyone thinking of moving here. Because the property might look perfect and everything. But you see, once you buy and then you start discover all sorts of crosses, you're stuck. So, rent first. And you need to live in a community before you commit to it. You need to understand the neighborhood, the different times of days, what happens in the morning, what happens in the evening, what happens when it rains, what happens when the sun is hot. All of that you need to know. So, when you rent first, this gives you the information that no amount of research from when you live abroad can give you. So, make sure you do that before you even consider purchasing a property, okay? Alright, another thing you'll need to consider is that here in Jamaica, rental market is not centralized or regulated in the same way that it is in North America or even on the European markets. There is no single listing platform that covers everything. A lot of the good properties that you find, you usually hear about it from a friend, you might find it on Facebook, you get it through word of mouth, and local contacts before it even get posted. By the time it get posted in the paper, it done gone already, right? That is one thing. Also, prices vary significantly by parish, by community, and by how near it is to amenities like hospitals, schools, and all them things there. So this is something you need to take into consideration. How near you need to be to whatever particular amenity that you may need to access in a short space of time. Kingston commands the highest rents. As usual, any city in the world you go, this is what happened. Portland and St. Elizabeth, two of the rural parishes, will tend to attract lesser rental rates because it is not as populated as other rural communities, such as places like Montego Bay and Ocherius. Ocherius is booming right now. St. Anne is booming. And because a lot of tourists move here and returning residents, their rental prices will be higher. So you have to not only look at the connection to amenities, you have to look at your pocket to see what you can afford, right? A decent 2-bedroom in a good Kingston neighborhood can run anywhere from $800 US to $1,500 a month. And right now, I think it might be running a little higher than that. Outside of Kingston, you would get it for much, much cheaper. Alright, another thing you have to be careful of, and this is getting more and more prevalent, is rental scam. The rental scams primarily target people relocating from overseas, and they are increasing. The most common version is that a listing will appear online. The property looks beautiful, but what they will do is they will ask you for a deposit of first and last month rent before you even physically go look on the property, right? Do not, I beg you please, do not send money to someone you have only spoken to online or by phone. If you cannot visit before you arrive, send somebody you know, somebody you trust to go look at it for you. Have them handle the business. You cannot rent nowhere from foreign. Make sure, say, you have somebody dependent representing you here, or you come here in person. All right. If you don't have a local trusted contact, Wait until you come here before you do that sort of business. All right, as is normal in most places, when a Jamaican place is rented, you have to be careful, right? Because a lot of them will pass off rented as what iron board in the cupboard or one piece of pop down fridge. Make sure you ask them for details as to what is included in this rental. Most places nowadays, especially apartments, will provide a fridge and a stove, because in an apartment here you cannot use a gas stove, you need to use electric. They do not allow gas stoves in most apartment complexes. So make sure you find out what is available, okay? Also, you need to find out if there's a washing machine, if there's a water heating situation. The reality is that in most places in Jamaica, you don't need to have water heated. But with you coming from foreign, most of you are accustomed to that and can deal with the cold water. So check to make that is in place, and make sure you get whatever amenities come with the house, get it in writing. No, take no word about, get it in writing. Because what seems like a minor misunderstanding at the viewing stage can become a major expense when you are already in the property and realize that you need to furnish the whole place. All right, so lease agreements. Now, lease agreements are not always the formal documents that people are used to from overseas. Some landlords operate on handshakes and verbal agreement that will not protect you. It protects neither you nor the landlord, but always insist on a written lease if you're entering into a lease agreement. Make sure you have it reviewed by a trusted Jamaican attorney before you sign. You may have a foreign attorney, but he does not understand the laws in Jamaica. So make sure you find a trusted Jamaican attorney who can really tell you what is there. All right? Your lease should clearly state the rent amount, the payment schedule, the deposit terms, and the conditions for its return. Notice period for both parties should also be included. You also must establish what maintenance responsibilities fall to you and what falls to the landlord. Make sure you know what is included in the rent. If a landlord refuses to put anything in writing, that is your first red flag and your first indication that you should walk away. If you can't put it in writing, do not accept it. Well, it takes 3 to 6 months. There are costs that you will need to budget for that goes beyond the purchase. And these include stamp duty, transfer tax, registration fees, and of course your attorney fees. Title insurance is not standard practice in Jamaica the way it is in North America, but it is available and worth discussing with your attorney. Never purchase property without a clear title search. Never, ever, ever. Because there are a lot of people who are selling properties that does not belong to them. So even if them come to you with piece of title, make sure that you go through the land people them, do the search, and clear that they own the property. All right, so now all real estate agents in Jamaica should be registered with the Real Estate Board of Jamaica. If you're going to be dealing with a real estate agent, make sure you ask them for their registration before you engage. There are a lot of people who will say they are real estate people and they are not licensed, and they are not allowed to operate in Jamaica unless they have their license. A good local agent is usually available. A lot of them are there and they are very valuable to you. They know the market, they know which communities are up and coming, they know which properties have issues that are not visible on a viewing. Be clear about your budget, your non-negotiables, and your timeline, and understand that agents work on commission from the seller in most cases. That does not mean they cannot serve your interests, but it means you should always do your own due diligence in parallel, not instead of. in parallel. Do it with them so that you make sure, ask questions, ask people, visit the community on your own, visit it at morning, visit it at night to see what it looks like. All right, I did touch on this in the last point, but it is important, so I will reiterate it. Before you sign anything, rental or purchase agreement, make sure you got it. Got it in the morning, got it in the evening, got it in the lunchtime. Talk to neighbors if you can. Check about the water supply situation, because this is a problem. You have areas that suffer water lockouts on a regular basis, right? So find out who provides their water. Find out if they have a well situation, it's strictly NWC, or there's a tank involved. Nowadays, to ensure you have water all the time, most properties need to have a tank. So if there's not a tank available, you may end up having a water shortage. So check into these things before you commit. Check out the phone situation and internet. Now, while the internet has improved, I live here and the internet is not always reliable in all areas, and even in areas that is reliable, it goes on and off just like anywhere else. So if you need that, make sure you find something that it is, you know what is going on, what to expect. All right, verify that any agent or landlord who you're dealing with is who they say they are. If anything feels off, don't question it. If something feels funny to you, walk away. I only a place there here. All right, now let's move on to the utilities. Light bill. This is everybody's nemesis in Jamaica. JPS is the only person who controls light in Jamaica, and because of this, they are a monopoly. They have no competition, so them charge you whatever they feel like, and nobody can argue with them. All right. A lot of people, because of this, are making solar their backup plan. Some people use it more, some people use it less. It may be expensive to lay out that upfront cost, but trust me, if you can do it, it is a worthwhile investment. All right? Because it will lower your costs significantly. You see, especially like when you're coming from foreign and you can't deal with the heat, you see the biggest thing that's going to run up your bill is AC. Now, when you turn that AC on, your light bill will triple and double and fupple and fipple and all kind of pull. So, if you can, sorry about that, if you can, make sure you put up solar and take that into consideration. Water bills are, manageable, right? But what you have to do and you need to do is to get a plumber to verify. Watch it and see, but make sure that there are no leaks, because if you go there and there is a leak, you will be getting higher bills than you should without knowing it. So have someone to check through to see if there are any leaks in the property. All right? So that is for bills there. Let's move on to the thing that catches people most off guard. The thing that catches most people off guard is the maintenance of the property. All right? A lot of people purchase property and they forget that if you own it, it is now your responsibility to maintain. Now, living in a tropical climate is a whole different horse. It means that you will probably experience tropical wear, and this could result in mold, rust, wood rot, roof damage during hurricane season, plumbing quirks, pest management, and these are not occasional issues. They are part of life here. So if you are renting, understand clearly what your landlord is responsible for, right? He is responsible for maintaining certain aspects, so make sure you establish that clearly, what he's responsible for and what falls on you. If you're buying, then all of it is on your shoulder, so you need to consider that and put it into your budget. Make sure that you can afford to maintain the property, because some people come here and because the housing may appear cheaper than where they're coming from, they buy these mansions that they cannot afford to maintain after they become owners, right? A property that looks perfect on a sunny day, when rain starts to fall, is a whole different scenario. So make sure you plan for it, keep it in your budget, and do not be the person who arrive unprepared for the reality of keeping up a property in a tropical community in good condition. So, housing is the foundation of your life in Jamaica. This is where you're going to be building everything on, because this is where all your belongings is going to be. This is where you're going to spend a lot of your time, entertain and all of that. So if you get it right, then you have something solid to build your life on. I know this was a lot of information, but every single point in this video comes from having seen people who get it right and people who come here and make the mistake of housing, rushing into it and not making the proper decision. Take your time, do your research, and do not let excitement replace due diligence. If anything in this video was helpful to you, I would love it if you would hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you know the next time I post a video. Share the video with someone who you think may need this information. Leave a comment and let me know what it is that you want to hear about the process of moving here to Jamaica. Or if you just want to learn something about Jamaica, leave me a comment and let me know. I read every single comment. Thanks for watching. My name is Claudette and I remain your Jamaican Gypsy Granny. Stay rooted. Ciao.